Yo, this is Drum86 bringing you another video. Yes, this is another early morning video for me. Probably can tell from the sound of my voice. I don't know, but I just wanted to do this video real quick. In my last video, the toy video that I put up, I talked about how I'm going to explain why I've been playing AEW Fight Forever. And really, it's simple. One of the main reasons is it's a fun game. I've always had my issues with the game. Don't get me wrong. I have always had it. Um, and I've made videos about it. I've made about, what, 3 videos on my channel about AEW Fight Forever. But the one constant that I hear from other people, that I hear even from myself, is that this game is fun. So when I think about the gaming industry and I think about how often we as fans are disappointed in games because they're hyped up, right? They're hyped to the gills. And then they come out and then we play them. And then not even for yourself personally, right? It'll be for games that I don't even play myself. A game will be hyped up to the moon, right? Only so often. It's very hit or miss. It's here and there. You'll get one of those games. One that I can think of specifically right now is the Spider-Man games right now. When those came out, those didn't just come out and lay a big egg, right? Like when Spider-Man, the first one came out, when the Miles Morales came out, there's a reason why the pre-order sales for the new Spider-Man coming out at the end of this week. There's a reason why there's so much like hype around it because those are games that actually came out and hit a home run. A lot of the times games come out and they have all these bells and whistles. You'll be able to do this. You'll be able to do this. Oh, this game is going to be so realistic. It's going to have this. It's going to have this. It's going to be like this. We got this that you can do and this that you can do. And then a lot of the times those games come out and at first it's like a new car smell. It's like, oh, this is really cool. And then in about a week or two on online on YouTube, you don't hear about the game anymore, right? One thing that the gaming industry likes to do is they have trained us to believe that games have to have a lot of either have to have a lot of content or be long as hell in order to be enjoyable. Games have to be 80 plus hours, 100 plus hours because that determines the worth of spending $75 or sometimes even more if you're somebody who likes to get deluxe editions. I did it myself. Now, everything I'm about to say in this video, I'm going to get this out of the way now. Everything that I'm about to say in this video, I completely understand and I agree. AEW Fight Forever needs more stuff. It needs more creation parts. It needs to simply be able to have text put on creation parts, right? Um, it needs more match types. Bad. It definitely needs more match types. I personally want updated arenas, and I want the new arenas that they've, like Collision, stuff like that. I would actually even love their house show arena that they did when they were doing that little short like house show tour. Um, they need more wrestlers to an extent because how I've been booking matches, I've actually been having some issues because I leave a lot of guys off of shows, but not necessarily on purpose. So the roster isn't too bad, but we definitely need some of the guys like Acclaimed and the Gun Club and Sean Spears and Jamie Hayter, stuff like that. So Soraya, we need all those characters. Um, so the game does have a lot to build upon if they even continue to do that. But what this video is about is with AEW, I found this is gonna sound crazy. In AEW, I found that kid in me again. And here's what I mean by that. When we were growing up, and I know that technology spoils us, guys, with everything, not even just with video games. Technology spoils us. They always find ways in our world to make things faster. And so when we do things, we want it done faster. Um, but along the way, we forget the imagination that we used to have growing up, whether it's playing with toys, whether it's video games. They have kind of done things to kind of take away our imagination to an extent. So I'm going to get into some of the things. And one of the things I'm going to start with is, for so long, I'm like, man, this game needs creative pay-per-view. And I'm not the only one. People are like, oh, this game needs creative pay-per-view. It needs a universe mode. But here's my rebuttal to that. I've been putting up videos on my channel. I don't By the time that this video comes out, I have one video up, and it's the all out pay-per-view. And it dawned on me, and I was like, you know what? I wonder if I can take my exhibition matches, cut those videos up, and put them together. And then I was like, Share Factory. I was like, let me install Share Factory because I didn't have it installed. It's on the menu on the PS5, but I didn't have it installed. And so I went to Share Factory, and it's a real quick process. All you got to do is just take your little clips of matches and put them together. And you can have it flow through when you watch it back like it's a pay-per-view actually happening. Because for me personally, that's what I like. I like to watch events back, and I've never been able to do that. You can't do that with universe mode unless you record your gameplay and watch it back. You couldn't do that back in the day with creative pay-per-view unless you had some type of capture card and hooked it up to a computer, if that was even possible, and all of that stuff. But I like watching my events back. And so I started thinking, like, creative pay-per-view does streamline the process because you don't have to keep going, excuse me, you don't have to keep going back to the main menu. Now, before I continue on with this, the reason why I have it on this menu right here is that this is the title management menu. And you see how it says held since October 11th, held since June 29th, held since October 12th. Right here, this is a feature that would be in some sort of universe mode. So it allows you to have that type of title management. So when you click on it, title history, look, you can see everybody that I had win the championship. I think the bottom one for MJF might be the real life thing. Um, uh, I think, yeah, I think the bottom one, but the Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, the MJF, Kenny Omega, like it has your title history. It tracks your title history right here, title history. I've only had Jade Cargill as the champ, and that's because like when the game well, yeah, because when the game came out, yeah. So the bottom one is based off of the real life character who won the title, but then it's yours. So I've only had Chris Statlander be the champ because right here, held since June 29th, that's when the game came out, and I had her beat Jade Cargill because I wanted Chris Statlander to be the champ. It's my favorite female wrestler in AEW. So with the title history, and you can manage, you can switch if you want to, like you can do in like 2K or whatever. So with that already helps with your booking, right? Because everybody wants a booking feature. That right there helps you keep track of what's been happening with your titles, right? One thing that I used to hear people say on what was it? I used to hear people say on universe mode, right? 2K players. I use a spreadsheet. I use an Excel spreadsheet because a lot of fans, because I look through comment sections to see if people are having like the same type of issues or having the same experience. And I would see people say things like, I'm having an issue keeping track of what's been going on in my storylines because it gets overwhelming. Universe mode can get overwhelming, guys, especially when you're doing multiple matches. It gets very, very overwhelming. You're trying to figure out, okay, did I use this cutscene before? Do I necessarily want to use this same cutscene for these guys when I used them for my, a cutscene for something that happened in another match? Even if it was like in a different week, you're like, man, I'm kind of using a lot of these cutscenes. I don't know really which one to do. So the process gets overwhelming, and you find yourself in the menu of 2K just as much as you would find yourself in the main menu of selecting a wrestler in AEW Fight Forever. So that's when it dawned on me. I was like, look, I'm not saying that they shouldn't put creative pay-per-view or universe mode in the game, but I'm saying that there's a workaround. If you can create your matches and you don't have to continue to select the arena, because once you select your arena in AEW Fight Forever, it stays there. So for every match that you do, you don't have to go to uh select the arena. Because one thing that I do for my videos is, I'll pick what match I want to do, go to normal match. And I just cut this all out in my videos that I've uploaded. I just cut this process out of picking my wrestler and all of this other stuff. That's all I do. That's all I do. And so somebody might look at this and hear this video and say, man, but that's a lot. But people are already doing a lot, even with universe mode. And with universe mode, it's already pretty streamlined for you. They even got rid of the feature of going to next match when you're done with the match in universe mode. Remember back, what was it, just 2K20 and beyond? If you were in universe mode after a match, you could go to the bottom and just go to next match. But now it takes you out back into the main part, and then you have to click back into into the next match and go from there. They took out show intros in universe mode. You see the point that I'm trying to make? It's become yet again a glorified exhibition mode, because that's all universe mode was to begin with. We never knew when we were going to get a cutscene. Even though we can choose the cutscenes now, it's still not enough. And I'll name drop because I like these guys and I'm not saying anything bad about them, but I'm about to name drop. Strizer has mentioned it before. Matt Assemble has mentioned this stuff before. Universe mode needs work. A ton of YouTubers said, I think Kenny Baum has talked about it. Universe mode needs work. It needs a lot of work. Even with everything that they add into the game, it's interesting how they still need to do so much. And I'm not dissing on 2K, but what I'm trying to say is, if we're doing the comparisons that we always do, and we say that AEW Fight Forever is not enough because it doesn't have enough content, well, Universe or 2K has universe mode. It has my faction, which nobody really messes with, but they try to force it on us every time we go to the main menu. How many of you guys, like myself, have accidentally clicked into my faction because you're like, I hate that that thing just pops up all the time. It has my rise, it has showcase, it has GM. It has all of these different modes, but see, the thing is that the developers have to spread their sources across all those different modes. And so 9 times out of 10, and usually universe mode is the biggest one that gets like left behind. Oddly enough, it's the most played mode. But with all of those different game modes, you spread yourself too thin. And so it's kind of hard to make these big updates in a year cycle because the game comes out yearly. Guys, what I'm trying to say is that AEW Fight Forever really isn't that bad. When we think about how we used to make ourselves have fun when we were kids, we can still do that as adults. We can still create our own fun. How many guys or girls know how to, cook, right? You don't necessarily have ingredients to make an actual meal, but you look at what you got in the kitchen, you look at what you have in the cupboard, and you just you make something new. I know a couple people at work. I can't do that personally. I don't know how to cook all like that. But I know a couple people at my job, guys and girls, who they'll say like, my buddy at work, he'll say like, my wife is good at cooking, but she has to have an actual like recipe. She's not good at coming up with, okay, I got this, I got this, I got this, and let me make something. But he can. He's very good at that. He's very good at coming up with a brand new meal without having a recipe. And guys, that's equal to how we all used to be as kids when we played video games. NBA Jam didn't have all the bells and whistles. Not only is it the most successful arcade game in history, it's made the most money in arcade game history. You can look that up. I've seen the documentaries on NBA Jam. NBA Jam is a home console. We played that all the time on Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn. It was on PlayStation 1, the NBA Jam Tournament Edition. And we played that all the time. Didn't have a bunch of bells and whistles like the NBA Live game did and like 2K does today. NBA Street. What could you do in NBA Street? NBA Street didn't have a ton of game modes to it. It didn't have all the quote unquote bells and whistles, but we were able to let ourselves enjoy the time that we had in front of the game. It didn't have to have all of these things because we recognized that shit. The game is fun though. That's what we recognized. We recognized that the game is fun. So I started to think, I'm like, I'm seeing all of these gameplay videos, including mine. I'm at fault too. But I'm looking at all of these videos about AEW that are still being made where they're like, the gameplay, the core gameplay is awesome. The game is fun. The game is fun. But it's just missing this, and this. So it's making me not play it. But the game is fun though. So try to come up with ways to make the game enjoyable for yourself because that's what we had to do as kids. Not every game was laid out for you right there where everything is right there for you. It was due to technology. But man, they made sure you had a good time. And I'm telling you guys, every time I've played 2K or every time I've played AEW Fight Forever, I've had fun. When I got bored of it in the beginning, it was because I was doing a direct comparison to WWE 2K. It's because I wanted the same features because I thought I needed the same features. I thought I needed a 2K game with the controls of No Mercy, but it's AEW. But I'm like, man, nah, that's false. I was doing that to myself. I wonder how many players are doing that to themselves when it comes to AEW Fight Forever. There's a lot of venom towards this game. There's a lot of venom that I spewed towards this game. But man, the more I've been playing it, I'm like, dude, I'm actually having more fun with it now than I did initially before the negative stuff came out. Because initially when I played it, I loved it. It's simple, it's easy to do the moves, it's fast, pick up and play. I'm sorry I got it just stuck on these menus, but I'm trying to talk at the same time. Even the match length. Let me go into the match length argument. So it's a mixed bag because I understand not being able to do really long matches in AEW Fight Forever. But there's pros and cons because on one hand, when you play 2K, finishers don't matter. I've mentioned that in how many videos. Sometimes you got to hit a guy with like 6 finishers in 2K. So you'll be beating somebody up the entire match and then they just kick out. So they need to balance that way better than what they've balanced it in the past. They just do. It's as simple as that. They got to balance it out. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. They got to do that. They've honestly got to find a way to balance things out when it comes to that game. They just do. They just do, man. But match length.
This should be one hell of a singles match.
Matches, almost every match. Sorry, excuse me. Almost every match that you do in AEW Fight Forever. Almost every match that you do in 2K is like a 15-minute match. It's like 10 to 15 minutes easy. Maybe sometimes you can make a short match be like 8 minutes, but it's a long process. It's a long process. Ooh. Nah, you know what? For this video, I'm not even really going to be able to play and talk at the same time. We're going to try this. But in 2K, you have these long matches all the time. There's no variation, really. It's always a long match. Every match is like a big pay-per-view match, even when you just kind of want it to be a regular match. Just a regular quick. Even I'm mad that they got rid of the squash matches feature. I think that was it started in 2K18. They had squash matches. I believe 19 had it too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was just 18, but I thought 19 had squash matches as well. But um, there's no variation. When you have it on a tough difficulty, I play on elite in this game. And when you have it on a tough difficulty, I've had matches go 10 minutes. Several matches go 10 minutes. I've had several matches go 8 minutes, 7 minutes. You'll probably see some of those long matches in these videos that I upload for AEW Fight Forever. I've had matches go 6 minutes, but I will admit they do run on the short side. AEW Fight Forever do have matches that run three minutes, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Gosh. I thought she could do a little dive. What are you doing, Britt? I'm sorry. But yeah, the matches do run shorter. You can have matches that are 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is like one of the main things that you could do in this game. Gosh. Jungle Boy is destroying me, but it's because I'm talking. I'm trying to get this out. This is the part of the video where I can't even like full on talk. This might be the only match I do on this video. But so, you know, it's like both games need to find a way to balance out match length to a degree. And now here's where the pros come in. In AEW Fight Forever, you can do a squash match. In Fight Forever, say you don't have time. Say you and your wife are gonna, get ready to head out. You're waiting for her to get ready. You're thinking to yourself, I know this might be a little bit, depending on how your girl or how your wife is. It might be a little bit. I want to play a couple matches. Well, in AEW Fight Forever, you can literally play a couple matches. While in 2K, by the time that you start the match, you guys are probably going to be ready to go, and you're going to have to cut the game off because you weren't able to finish. Ooh, man. So you see what I'm saying? Like, there are pros to the short matches because it is a pick up and play game. And if you just want to pick up and play for a little bit, you can very much do that. And I'm about to try to end him. I'm about to try to end him. All right. All right, here we go. It's over, Jungle. It's over. He's about to give up. And I love the voiceovers. I don't know if you guys heard her say tap. I love hearing them talk. I did a suplex with Matt Jackson. I was using the Young Bucks. And I think that is going to be in a video that I upload. I did an episode of Collision, and he said, "Oh God, you're heavy as hell." I was suplexing Chuck Taylor because I was fighting against the Best Friends, and you hear Matt Jackson say, "God, you're heavy as hell." Like it was cool. Anyways, so let me go back to. So I was on the topic of match types, or match length. So, they do have that match length problem. Now, the one thing that I will say is they definitely need more match types. We need more match types, man. But then, again, oh, I also wanted to bring this up too. When it comes to WWE 2K, and I know I'm not the only one. I've actually seen people online say this. And I hear them say it in a different way. They kind of give it away without really getting too specific. But whenever I play WWE 2K, and my wife has noticed this too, I spend most of my time setting things up, being in community creations, And so much time will go by while I'm setting things up. Like when I was setting up my universe modes, that took forever. When I was setting up getting my created wrestlers, because we all know if you play 2K, community creations menu will crash on you to the point where your system will like, do the whole, it'll shut the game off and have that error message pop up. Or sometimes it just gets stuck at loading. And then you have to back out. Sometimes I've had to quit the game and then restart the game and then go back and find what I was looking for. Like, oh, I wanted to find this version of Hulk Hogan, yada yada yada, and then I'll have to research it. So it's community creations is, I don't know if it's because of how many users are on there creating stuff, but they still haven't found a way to make that process smooth. So that process takes a long time. There have literally been times where I'm setting up universe mode or I'm in community creations when I play, and that's what I'm doing the majority of the time. And then when it's actually time to play, I either don't want to play a match, I'll wait until my next session, or I will play a match, I may not finish it, or I will just play one, maybe two matches tops, and then that's it. That's why when I was first uploading universe mode gameplay, I was just doing 1 to 2 matches. It wasn't because of me worrying about how long my videos are going to be. That wasn't the case. I just did a toy review video, a toy showcase video that was like almost a half an hour. I didn't care about that. I don't care about the length to a degree, to a degree. Um, Especially when it comes to gameplay. I don't want anybody like just sitting here forever. Um, but you spend most of your time doing something other than really playing the game. Because when I'm in community creations or when I'm setting up universe mode, I don't really consider that me playing the game. I'm not doing any button combinations. I'm not holding a button and moving the D-pad to do a move. I'm literally just pressing up, down, and then selecting something, pressing up, down, or the R1 and L2 just to like, to go to a different part of a menu and stuff like that. Like that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing the majority of the time. I'm also not making this video to say that, oh, I'm done making WWE 2K videos. That's not what this is about either. But my channel is very real. It's very me. It's why I put up the type of videos that I put up. If you read my bio, it talks about all of the things that I'm going to be uploading. It just so happens that there are some times where I'm putting up a ton of videos of this thing, a ton of videos of that thing, a ton of videos of this thing. Before, I used to just do gameplay videos without me talking in it. And then I would switch it up and do action figure reviews. Then I started doing action figure showcases and things like that. That's what I would do. That was me. You know what I'm saying? Like that was me. That's what I did, and that's what I still do, but it depends, right? It depends. Um but man, I think that's honestly about it, man. Like what I've come to realize, and I know this video is long, but I wanted to get this off of my chest because I had to do some self-reflecting, and mainly because of how the gaming industry is now. And I'm like, well, gaming games really don't allow us to have so much fun. I mean, Ratchet and Clank is one of my favorite games to come out for the PS5. I think it's one of the best. It's my favorite personally because graphically takes advantage of the PS5 hardware. The way that the game plays takes advantage of the PS5 hardware. Uh, I mean, beautiful to look at. Just said that, but just saying it in a different way. Very beautiful to look at. Very fast paced and fun. Action packed. And guess what? It only takes about 11 hours to beat. And if you want to 100% complete it to get like everything and like really, if you're a completist, it takes about 25 hours to beat. You cannot beat that. You cannot beat that, man. Because again, we have to stop letting the video game industry train us into thinking that a wrestling game is only good if it has this much content in it. How many times have we seen wrestling games have all the content in the world and it still not be good? How many people you got complaining about 2K? A lot, including me. I found appreciation for 2K, but don't get it twisted. You can look on my video and on my channel about the things that annoy me about 2K. Assemble, not to name drop again, Assemble just did a video recently where he's going through 2K's Twitter thing. I believe it's 2K's Twitter thing, and then you see all of these fans with all of these long list of problems that 2K has had. So it's like even with the bells and whistles that 2K has, it's still not great. It's still not overall a great experience. But at least with AEW Fight Forever, the gameplay is fun and addicting. It's fun. So we got to stop letting the industry train us that if we pay $75, the game has to be 100 hours. No, 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 no. You can make a 2 hour game, and over the course of time, we play for 100 hours because we want to keep going back. Remember those days? That's what Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was. I played through that game twice. If I'm playing something like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Ghost of Tsushima, I'm not playing through those games twice. You're lucky if I even finish it because I'm bored by that time. I even think the new God of War was a little bit too long because I actually stopped playing God of War. I didn't even finish it. I got pretty far in it, but I didn't even finish it. I haven't even felt like downloading it again to finish it because it was just too long. Spider-Man has another sweet spot. Spider-Man doesn't take that long to beat unless you want to 100% it. I beat the first Spider-Man game pretty quick. I beat Miles Morales even faster because it was naturally a shorter game, but even Spider-Man didn't ask for you to spend your life playing the game. But the industry make games that long because they think that that's going to make the fans think it's worth $75. Let's stuff everything into this game. NBA 2K. I used to love playing NBA 2K. I've been playing NBA 2K literally since the game was just called NBA 2K. It was before it had a number outside of that. Allen Iverson on the cover like the first 4 years. Yeah, I've been playing since that long. And throughout the years, there's been more content, more features, more gameplay stuff added to NBA 2K. There's been more stuff added to NBA 2K over time. And it's still now it's like, okay, you got all the bells and whistles, but the quality of the game, in my personal opinion, has gone down in NBA 2K. And almost universally now the game is starting to be hated on more than ever before. IGN gave it the worst rating it's ever given it in like decades. Fans now are starting to really scream out about the microtransactions and the pay to win when you play My Career. People like me who play the NBA, play with the NBA teams, are starting to complain about the fact that, man, you guys have made it to where your focus has been so put on the My Career and My Park and Rec modes. You're bringing that into the 5v5 NBA gameplay because now you're trying to make me have to learn everybody's shot release on a team because in My Career, you have to learn your shot for your My Career player. You're never rewarded for playing smart basketball like you used to be. You're not rewarded for taking good open shots. You didn't release it in enough time, so brick. I'm not even going to get into that. But what I'm trying to say is it's not always about what the game has content wise. Sometimes it is we gotta start finding ways to have fun with stuff again, man, because then you start to realize, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. And that's what this video really is. AEW Fight Forever is really not that bad, man. The one thing that it also nails is the new school wrestling. The way wrestling is done nowadays. Because wrestling now is very fast paced. I've talked about this before in previous videos. Now, me personally, I'm an old school guy, but it is fun to be able to play a game and be able to truly imitate how it's done in real life. They did out of all the things that they talked about before AEW came out when Kenny Omega said that he said it was tricky doing the Aki engine for new school wrestling because it's done so differently. He said he wanted it to be able to, he wanted it to look cool when you're pulling off the moves that like the Lucha Brothers are doing and like the Young Bucks and stuff. And playing this game the way I play it now, I'm starting to see that. AEW Fight Forever is not a bad game to me anymore. I'm not bored. I'm actually having fun. And yeah, I had to find the workaround to making my shows feel like I'm creating a pay-per-view or a show, but it's no different than people using a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, or notes in their phone to track what they're doing in universe mode in 2K. Me constantly having to go back to the menu to do this is no different than when the start of your match, at the start of your Raw or SmackDown or whatever you're doing in universe mode, what you got to do? This. Because you want to select the matches. Nobody sticks with just the matches that they give you. Everybody selects the matches, right? So what's the difference? The only difference is that sometimes randomly you get a cutscene. Even though you can choose to do to put input your cutscenes, I get it. So in 2K23, you can always see a cutscene. However, that will get repetitive. And so then what do you have to do? Use your imagination. So you still have to use your imagination with 2K. People on YouTube are doing it a lot. I come across awesome universe mode videos where people are doing more of their own customization than using what the game does. There's a guy, and I forgot his name. There's a guy that does universe mode, and I don't know what he does. I don't know if he has a PC. I don't know if he's using clips of 2K18 when they had promos and he's like reworking it that way. But when he does promos and stuff, I've never seen an animation in 2K where you see one guy in the middle of the ring, unless it's like My Rise, talking with a microphone in his hand. And then at the bottom of the screen, he's inputting text and reading it out. 2K doesn't allow you to do that naturally. You have to do that. So that's a workaround. For that dude's YouTube channel, that's a workaround. How is that any different from what I'm doing? Cutting up my matches and then putting them all together in Share Factory. You see, sometimes, sometimes you can find fun like how you found fun your entire lives. But sometimes you do gotta find it. Sometimes that's always been life. Sometimes you gotta find it. Something breaks, you really can't replace it. So what do? You find a way to fix that thing. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment sections, man. I know that if you are a creation guy, I can understand also not liking AEW Fight Forever because if your thing is creating a wrestler or an arena, trust me, I get it. So you're in a different boat. But if you're a player like me, I don't know, man. This game is pretty dope. But thank you guys for listening to this long video of me just talking and showing just like the screen. But yeah, man, I'm having a ball with this game again, man. So my opinion has changed on AEW Fight Forever. Like, comment, subscribe. This your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.